Well, the annual African Development Bank meeting in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire is set to wind down. The climax of the meetings was the election of Sidi Ulta as new president to replace Nigeria's Akinwumi Adesina. Let's join live to follow the closing ceremony.
To express our deepest and sincere appreciation to Honorable Niale Kaba, Minister of Economy, Planning and Development of the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire, outgoing chairperson. Outgoing chairperson of the Boards of Governors, for her sterling work, dedication, and guidance during her tenure as the chairperson. I would also like to commend to the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire for graciously hosting this annual meeting, and I'm sure you can attest to that. Honorable Governor, we thank you. And please, through you, to the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire, convey our profound gratitude to His Excellency, the President of the Republic. Ladies and gentlemen, as we wrap up this year's edition, I wish to thank you all, our honorable governors, for your dedication and immense contribution towards the bank's priorities and progress. Of course, we gave you some hard times with documents, with things, with time. We do appreciate your commitment. Thank you so much, honorable governors. Let me introduce the program for the closing ceremony. We will start with the recognition of departing executive directors of the bank. And then we will play some goodwill messages from Mr. Ajay Banga, President of the World Bank Group, and Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Director General of the World Trade Organization. And then we will have the Governor for Zambia, Honorable Governor Histombeko Musokotwane, read the Commendation resolution. And finally, we will allow the President to give us his closing remarks. Of course, the chairperson representing the government of Côte d'Ivoire in this ceremony will give the final. And of course, we'll welcome the new bureau and of course, the new chairperson, and the program will follow. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to call upon Honorable Niale Kaba, Minister of Planning and Economy and Development of the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire, and the outgoing chairperson of the Board of Governors, and Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, President and Chairperson of the Board of Directors of the African Development Bank Group, to stand to welcome and recognize the departing executive directors. Executive directors, we appreciate your work, and as we call on you, please come to the stage. Following the election of new executive directors in the general election, these executive directors have completed their tenure of office, some for a maximum of 6 years, and others within the constituency rotation of 3 years. Ms. Malika Div, Executive Director for Morocco, Tunisia, and Togo. Ms. Mette Knudsen, Executive Director for Denmark, Finland, Norway, India, Ireland, and Sweden. Mr. Ibrahim Bouzaboujane, Executive Director for Algeria, Guinea-Bissau, Knudsen. Executive Director. Guinea-Bissau and Madagascar. Executive Director for Angola, Mozambique, Namibia, and Zimbabwe. Mozambique, Namibia, and Zimbabwe. I call on Mr. Desiree Guedon, Executive Director for Gabon, Benin, Burkina Faso, Cabo Verde, Senegal, Comoros, Mali, and Niger. I call upon Mr. Gerard Pascal Boussier, Executive Director for Mauritius, Botswana, Malawi, and Zambia. I call on Madame Chantal Modeste Nono, Executive Director for Congo, Cameroon, Burundi, Democratic Republic of Congo, Central African Republic, and Chad. I call on Mr. Al-Bukahim Mohamed El-Mizurati, Executive Director for Libya and Mauritania. I call on Mr. Rufus N. Dakote, Executive Director for Liberia, Ghana, the Gambia, Sierra Leone, and Sudan. I call upon Mr. Jonathan Nzayi Correa, Executive Director for Rwanda, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Kenya, Uganda, Seychelles, Somalia, South Sudan, and Tanzania. I call on Mr. Takaki Nomoto, Executive Director for Japan, Saudi Arabia, Argentina, Austria, and Brazil. I call on Dr. Domenico Fanisa, Executive Director for Italy, the Netherlands, and United Kingdom. I call on Mr. Adama Kone, Executive Director for Côte d'Ivoire, Guinea, and Equatorial Guinea, represented by his senior advisor. Honorable Governors, please put your hands together for our 13 departing EDs. That is a change of about 75% of the board. Thank you very much, Executive Directors. Following that recognition, please permit me to play the video from Mr. Ajay Banga, President of the World Bank.
Hello, everybody, and let me start by recognizing my friend Akin Adesina. Akin, I know this marks your final annual meeting as president of the African Development Bank, and what a tenure you have had. You have brought vision, energy, and relentless determination to the job, and it's been an absolute privilege to learn from and work alongside you. I think our personal relationship, which started when I came to visit you when I was just a candidate for the job, helped to lay the groundwork for a renewed and stronger partnership between our two institutions. But friendship alone is not a strategy, and we both knew that. What I think we've really built over the past year is a new way of working. We're focused on impact. We're grounded in mutual respect. But most importantly, we're committed to the future of Africa and its young people and their desire for a better life. M300 is a clear example. It's a shared ambition to bring energy to 300 million people in Africa, a demonstration of what's possible when the MDBs work like a system. We each play to our strengths, but we're very aligned on the outcome. I think we've made real progress in a short time. But the eyes of the world are upon us. Some are skeptical, some are inspired. And to meet that moment, we need to keep that momentum going. And that means more countries finalizing their compacts, and for those that have, move quickly from words to action. What we need to show is real progress, real results, real opportunities for the private sector. That's how we'll create jobs. That's how we'll improve the quality of life across the continent. So as we look ahead to a new leadership at the African Development Bank, I have no doubt that this partnership will endure. It'll grow stronger because our work is far from done and we are united in our shared purpose. So from all of us at the World Bank Group, Akin, thank you. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your passion. And thank you for commitment to Africa. And thank you to all of those in the African Development Bank for your leadership, your excellence in working together with all of us. We're very proud to be your partners. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ajay Banga. Could you please play the next video from Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Director General, World Trade Organization.
Dear Akin, Excellencies, our leaders, governors of the bank, other dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, I want to congratulate Akin on his service to the bank and Africa. His tenure has significantly raised the profile of the bank to a new height of recognition and respectability. He and I served in the cabinet of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan in Nigeria, and his contribution in raising Nigeria's agricultural performance is well documented. One of the best memories I have of our work together is helping empower women farmers when Akin created the digital wallet for farmers to get support to purchase inputs. I challenged him that if he could reach up to 1 million or 2 million more women farmers, we would transfer him additional budget in a kind of performance-based approach to budgeting. Akin absolutely delivered and reached, if my recollection is correct, 2 million more women farmers. Akin brought uncommon passion to his work and made a difference to the lives of farmers in the country. When His Excellency President Goodluck Jonathan nominated him as candidate for the presidency of the African Development Bank, it was with determination that I took on the role of his campaign manager in my capacity as Nigeria's finance minister and Nigeria's governor for the African Development Bank. We campaigned hard, and his performance in the interview was tops, and he got elected. I'm pleased to say that as president, he has not disappointed. He's leaving a strong legacy behind, of which he, Nigerians and all Africans, should be proud. Dr. Adesina's tenure saw the capital base of African Development Bank rise from $93 billion to the present level of $318 billion. This is a noteworthy achievement, as anyone who has negotiated such deals will attest that it is a daunting task. Scale is critical if we are to succeed in transforming the fortunes of the continent. Of course, the quality of projects and efficiency of resource use for outcomes and impact are even more important, and I understand that this is one of the hallmarks of his presidency. The development challenges facing Africa are immense and well known. They do not need to be repeated here. What is clear is that at the present rate of development, it is doubtful that the African Union's Agenda 2063 can be met. For context, it is less than 40 years away, 4 full-term presidencies of the AfDB. Africa needs to accelerate the pace of development if it is to overcome the problems of hunger, energy poverty, and to create quality jobs for its growing young population, industrialize the continent, and generally provide a high standard of living for every African, so they do not need to seek to migrate to other lands. In essence, if Africa is able to realize the high fives that constitute Akin's signature agenda during his presidency, Agenda 2063 will be attainable. I believe it is doable, and we need to persist, stay the course, and take our opportunities. The African Continental Trade Agreement, for example, provides one such opportunity to drive Africa's development through trade, as other regions have done. Even with the challenges currently facing the multilateral trading system, opportunities abound. With the right policies, Africa can attract supply chains to itself, including in the critical mineral sector that has become so important to the world. And I must say that some of our leaders are grabbing that opportunity. Thank you. I should emphasize that the onus for our development, as we all agree, is primarily on us, Africans, even as the role of development partners continue to be important. With the aid pot drying up, there's simply no alternative. It's an established fact that the development of the continent cannot be achieved also by relying on government resources alone. It needs to be complemented by the private sector and scaled. This is why President Adesina's initiative of launching the Africa Investment Forum has been so powerful. It constitutes a marketplace where the owners of private capital interact with promoters of projects and strike deals that are of mutual benefit. I understand that since its inception in 2018, the Africa Investment Forum has mobilized over $100 billion in investment interest. We need to work hard to ensure that such interest catalyzes into actual investment on the continent. Such initiatives will become even more important in the new global reality. So I congratulate you, Akin. I congratulate the African Development Bank. I'm clearly enthusiastic about the Africa Investment Forum because it complements what we at the WTO are also doing. Our investment facilitation for development agreement is designed to remove unnecessary bureaucracy and attract private capital for our members. It's been entered into by 127 out of our 166 members and will hopefully enter into force soon. There are 33 African countries that are members of this agreement, and the remainder seem poised to join. Having this agreement enter into effect will definitively help the continent attract the supply chain and value-added investment it needs. So very complementary to what Akin has been doing at the African Development Bank. The staff of the AfDB, the board, the ministers, and your excellencies are leaders for supporting Akin during his tenure. To conclude, let me also thank his wife for her steadfast support of her husband all these years. I want to wish both of them the very best for the future. To the candidates vying to succeed Akin, I thank them for putting themselves forward to serve. They have big shoes to fill, but I'm confident that they're up to it, and I wish them the best of luck. Whoever ends up taking this flag forward We'll all be there to support them. Africa needs you to succeed you. Thank you all.
Thank you very much for that video. The DG. Thank you very much for that video, the DG of WTO. May I invite the Governor of Zambia, Mr. Sitembeko Musukodwane, to read the commendation resolution.
Thank you very much, Secretary General, Madam Chairperson, outgoing President, dear governors, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to read a vote of thanks of the Board of Governors to Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, the outgoing President of the African Development Bank. We thank him for the exceptional leadership, vision, and strategic acumen with which he managed and led the affairs of the bank during his tenure. We thank you, Dr. Adesina, for the remarkable results obtained by the bank group during your tenure. Those were presented to us a few days ago, and we thank you for the fact that you spared no effort in expanding the bank's global presence, convening power, and normative influence in the international community, including participation in the G7 and G20. We therefore offer heartfelt gratitude and appreciation for the work accomplished and the milestones achieved, which include the transformative agenda centered on the high 5 priorities, which together impacted the lives of over 565 million people across the continent. The successful mobilization of $23 billion in the last 3 replenishments of resources for the African Development Fund, cumulative lending of over $102 billion between 2015 and 2024, innovative approach to capital markets with the bank's issuance of the first hybrid capital among multilateral developments, and unlocking new asset class for global institutional investors, permanently influencing the architecture of the global development finance by co-leading the framework for channeling SDRs through multilateral development banks, and scaling up of private sector operations from $2 billion to $6 billion, and finally, maintaining the bank's AAA rating over a decade marked by global turbulence, including pandemics, climate shocks, food and energy crisis, debt distress, and mounting developing financing gaps. For all this, Dr. Adesina, the bank wishes to pay glowing tribute for your contribution to the African continent. As I close, I wish you well, but also I want to welcome the new president of the bank, Dr. Taha. He's not a strange person to most of us. We've interacted with him in Badea. I'm confident that he's going to take the bank to higher heights. Dr. Adeshina, well done and all the best.
Thank you very much, Governor for Zambia, for the vote of thanks. May I invite Ido for some interlude. microphone, okay. Excellencies, honorable governors, please allow me to welcome to the podium Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, President and Chairperson of the Board of Directors of the African Development Bank Group, for his closing remarks. Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Secretary General. I'd like to start by thanking the Governor of Zambia for your very, very heartwarming words and statements on my behalf or in my direction. I'm pretty much humbled and thankful and grateful for your kind words. Your Excellencies, dear Honorable Governors, my governors, dear Madam Nyali Kaba, my dear friend and sister, Minister of Economy, Planning and Development, and the Governor of the African Development Bank for the country of Cote d'Ivoire, and of course, the Chair of the Governors of the African Development Bank. Please help me thank her because she has done an incredible job. Vous avez fait un travail magnifique.
You have done a wonderful job. There is no doubt about that. You are so quiet, but you do great things. Thank you, Madam.
Dear Executive Directors of the African Development Bank, the senior management and staff of the African Development Bank, the President-elect of the African Development Bank, my dear brother Sidi Uttar, I don't know if he's here. If he's here, if he's not here, please give a shout to him. And I'll talk about him later. Ladies and gentlemen of the media that are here, and of course, my dear and beautiful wife, who is the rock of my life, thank you very much. It is hard to believe that 5 days have gone by so fast during these 2025 annual meetings of the African Development Bank Group. 5 days that I've witnessed more than 5,000 delegates and participants from over 91 countries and the largest attendance in the bank's history. We all arrived in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, to a warm Akwaba welcome. I wish to express my deepest appreciation to President Alassane Ouattara, my dear senior brother, and the government of Cote d'Ivoire for hosting these annual meetings. We are grateful for your warm hospitality in welcoming us. Please join me in thanking President Alassane Ouattara. Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président, pour votre accueil très chaleureux pour nous.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for your warm welcome.
Thanks to all the heads of state and government who graced the annual meetings with their presence. President John Mahama of the Republic of Ghana, President Asali Assoumani of the Republic of Comoros, the Vice President Mpango, who represented Her Excellency President Samia Suluhu Hassan of the United Republic of Tanzania, Vice President Ndaba Gwalate of the Republic of Botswana, and thank you for being here with us throughout these meetings. The Prime Minister Ali Mahaman Lamine of the Republic of Niger, and by the way, he used to be a staff of the bank, and he just tells you what kind of thing we produce here. We produce prime ministers, we produce presidents also. And the Prime Minister Robert Mambe of the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire. Special appreciation goes to Honorable Nyali Kaba, Minister of Economy, Planning and Development of the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire and the Chairperson of the Boards of Governors of the African Development Bank Group, for her exemplary way in which she has conducted the meetings of the Board of Governors. Special thanks also go to those that sent congratulatory message, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, and to my dear friend Ajay Banga, President of the World Bank, and of course my dear incredible dynamic sister, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Please help me to thank them for their generous words. Special thanks goes to the chair of the bank's committee on external communication and preparation of the annual meetings, the Secretary General, the General Counsel, the communications team, the annual meetings organizing committee, and the Côte d'Ivoire's planning committee for a great job in handling the logistics of travel, of hotels, of accommodation, of transport, of conference services, facilities, security, health services to ensure we have such a wonderful annual meeting. Merci beaucoup. I'd like to thank immensely my senior management and staff, led by my very dynamic senior vice president and the vice presidents and the entire senior management team. Thank you, Milo, and everybody, all the vice presidents, as you supported Secretary General and the General Counsel for their work, Sule and, of course, Vincent. We are grateful to the government of Côte d'Ivoire for hosting us to several events, including luncheons and dinners and gala nights. I had to actually ask myself, this is part of feeding Africa, but you can't really feed Africa if you don't feed the governors of the African Development Bank. Merci, madame, vous avez fait votre travail. C'est bien ça. We worked hard, but we also danced hard. I looked at some of you on the dance floor, and I can tell you, you do more than just do physical management. Some of you are very good dancers. You all did a great job. Thank you. Excellencies. While the annual meetings of the African Development Bank Group are always a good time for reflection and connection, a lot of fun, it is also a good time for us to have an aperture, for you to have an aperture into our work, into our space that you give us. It is also a special time for you as our governors of the bank to converge, to better understand, review, discuss, and provide guidance on key priorities of the African Development Bank, to look at our finances, to look at our operations, and for you to assess the delivery, the results, and the impact of our work in all the regional member countries all across Africa. And as you discuss emerging development trends in the world, how they affect Africa, and how can we better position the bank to actually respond to those needs that affect Africa from the rest of the world. Excellencies, my dear governors, our knowledge products set the pace and the tone for our discussions. We launched the African Economic Outlook Report for 2025. We also launched the 2024 Africa Public Service Delivery Index. During these meetings, in the plenaries, in the side events, throughout this week, we discussed how to mobilize more capital globally and domestically for Africa's development. Your suggestions, your guidance, your recommendations as governors have been very, very helpful for us. As a bank, we are increasingly committed to domestic resource mobilization. Just yesterday, a day before the end of our annual meetings, alongside the Honorable Minister of Finance of Nigeria, Mr. Waliedu, and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy, we signed the extension of the Nigerian Trust Fund for another 25 years by the federal government of Nigeria. And Nigeria generously and graciously provided an additional $500 million to the Nigerian Trust Fund, an impressive contribution. Thank you to Nigeria. Thank you very much. Excellencies, my dear governors, this is my last annual meeting as president of the African Development Bank Group, after completing 2 5-year terms that you've given me to serve our institution and the continent. It has been an extraordinary 10 years working together with you, working together with the boards of governors, working together with the boards of directors, working together with my incredible staff to make things happen, working together with governments across all 81 shareholder countries, working together with the private sector and the civil society, working together with the youth and women of Africa, working together with our partners, working together with the media who help us to carry and tell our messages around the world, working together, hands joined to support and make a difference in Africa. We are all one. We are all one. With hands around the opportunities and challenges of Africa. Like when you go to a village in Africa, you have baobab trees. If you want to have your own tree, you can put your hand around it. You can't put your hand around it. But if you put your hands together around a baobab tree, your hand can go around it. And that's exactly what it is for Africa. But in times of our opportunities, but in times of our challenges, it takes each one of us put our hands together around it like a baobab tree. That's what we've been doing together. That spirit of togetherness was evident again yesterday as you rallied to elect a new president of the African Development Bank Group, Sidi Uta. I commend you on your choice, and I congratulate the president-elect as much as I congratulate all those who put themselves forward to actually be considered for the service of our institution. I have known Sidi for many years. We are very close partners, and in fact, we're also friends. Sidi is competent. Sidi is experienced. And I am confident that Sidi will continue the great work and achievements and build on the achievements we have collectively achieved over the past 10 years. Sidi, you have my 100% support. Anytime you lead me, I'll be there. And so the beat goes on. The heartbeat of the African Development Bank Group, the pulsating beat of our high fives, will continue to deliver hope across this continent. You, our governors, have enabled us to do our best work. You put the wind behind our sails. You, our board of directors, ensure that we are sailing in the right direction. You, my staff, as sailors, adeptly adjust and control the sails of our sailing boat. You, my staff, at all levels, have been simply exemplary. You have strongly supported me. We have worked as a team. We have achieved extraordinary results as a team that have uplifted our bank and delivered unprecedented impact. Thank you, and thank you very much. I trusted you. A president is somebody you see outside that speaks on behalf of an institution, as a public face of an institution. But around me is an ecosystem that helps us to deliver. I trusted you, and you never failed. I am forever grateful. I will greatly miss you, every single one of you, across all levels, from the headquarters to all our regional and country offices, from senior vice presidents, directors, director generals, secretary general, general counsel, deputy director generals, managers, professionals, and general staff, the staff council, the consultants that support us, advisors, and young professionals, from the cleaners to the drivers, to the security staff that have provided exceptionally selfless service, to the incredible protocol staff. We travel quite a lot, many of you, but I can tell you the protocol staff we have in this bank are simply exemplary. I hear it all the time. We travel, they are there, whether it's 3 a.m., 6 a.m., whatever it is, they are always there. You know, I want to just say that they're exemplary, and please help me to thank them again. To the translators and the interpreters that we use all the time, who we never see, but whose work make us see. To my exemplary cabinet office staff, they work 24/7. They don't sleep. I don't sleep, so they can't sleep. But I want you to know that I love every single one of you, and I value all the hard work you put in every single day. So thank you, and may God bless you. You all matter. You all matter. And you will forever retain a special place in my heart. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as we look now to the future, let us continue to support Africa. Let us make sure that our anchor holds even on tempestuous seas. Let us continue to sow the seeds for a better day, today and tomorrow for Africa. For I can assure you that your labors will not be in vain. Do not stop giving. Together, let us make the world a better place. Together, let's advance Africa's transformation. As shareholders, we have been together for 60 years. I urge you to stay together and support together. Differences may exist, priorities may change, but around Africa, let us unite. For in our togetherness lies our greatest strength. Africa deserves your united support. The African Development Bank and the African Development Fund are your best investment vehicles to achieve your priorities and to transform Africa. Thank you for the opportunity, for the trust, and for the resources that you have given me as president to superintend over at the African Development Bank Group. It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president, as president of the African Development Bank Group, and to serve Africa. I will forever value the shared moments we've had over these past 10 years. I will keep precious memories of you all as treasures. My dear wife, Grace, and I will deeply miss every single one of you. Thank you all once again. May God bless the African Development Bank Group, your bank. May God bless Africa. May God bless your nations as you bless our continent. May God bless you all, every single one of you. Until we meet again. And as I say my final goodbye, you know I love to sing. So please permit me to sing snippets of a few songs. I want to sing We Are the World. Are you ready? There comes a time when we hear the Sunday call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying, and it's time to lend a hand to life. There's greater gift of all. We can go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We are all a part of God's greater family, and the truth should know love is big. sing another song, I Can See Clearly Now. You know, when now I can go and get some vacation, I can see. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone at the dark clouds that make me blind. Sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now. The pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. There is a rainbow I've been waiting for. Oh yes, it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue sky. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue sky. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in our way. Gone at the black cloud that holds us blind. Yes, it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Thank you, and God bless you all. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. Well, for those of you who may be wondering what the president is going to do after he leaves here, you have your answer. Well, tonight is that night that you'll be closing, right? And there are things we do very well, and Mr. President is waiting. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable governors, we will now introduce the new bureau. Protocol, please invite the new bureau to the podium. The Republic of Congo. The new chairperson of the Board of Governors, Republic of Congo. The first vice chairperson, Denmark. The second vice chairperson, South Africa. No. Please give a round of applause to our new bureau. Before we listen to the new chairperson to accept, we'll play a brief video about Congo. Could you please play the video on Congo?
Au cœur de l'Afrique centrale, la République du Congo se positionne comme une terre d'opportunités, forte d'un potentiel naturel et économique remarquable. S'étendant sur 342 000 km², elle partage ses frontières avec le Cameroun, la République centrafricaine, la RDC, l'Angola et le Gabon, et dispose d'une façade maritime de 170 km sur l'océan Atlantique. Le pays bénéficie d'un climat équatorial à subéquatorial, avec une température moyenne de 25 degrés Celsius, une pluviométrie annuelle de 1700 mm et un ensoleillement tout au long de l'année. Avec une population estimée à 6,1 millions d'habitants, une densité de 17,9 habitants par kilomètre carré et un taux de croissance démographique de 3,2%, la République du Congo s'investit au cœur d'un espace économique dynamique en tant que membre des communautés régionales CEMAC et CEAC, représentant ensemble un marché de 174 millions de consommateurs. Notre plus grand trésor, le bassin du Congo, deuxième poumon vert de la planète. Il est au cœur de notre stratégie d'économie verte. Nous nous engageons pour une exploitation durable de nos ressources, la préservation de la biodiversité et le développement des énergies renouvelables. Investir au Congo, c'est aussi investir dans l'avenir de la planète. Son positionnement stratégique, renforcé par sa façade maritime sur l'Atlantique et le port en eau profonde de Pointe-Noire, premier de la sous-région, constitue un levier majeur d'intégration sous-régionale. Le Congo, c'est plus de 2000 km de routes bitumées interconnectées aux pays limitrophes, ce qui renforce sa place de carrefour de l'intégration sous-régionale en Afrique centrale. Associé à des infrastructures modernes et à des zones économiques spéciales attractives, le Congo se positionne comme une plateforme incontournable pour les échanges commerciaux, les investissements et la coopération régionale et internationale. Un climat des affaires en pleine évolution, soutenu par des réformes ambitieuses, une fiscalité attractive et un guichet unique pour les investisseurs. Des secteurs porteurs, agriculture, agro-industrie, mines, énergie, technologie, attendent les talents et les capitaux pour bâtir l'avenir. Investir aujourd'hui, c'est construire demain. À la découverte de la République du Congo au fil de l'eau. Un voyage iconographique fascinant du nord au sud, d'est en ouest, au fil de l'eau. Une immersion dans les forêts et réserves naturelles. En mai 2026, Brazzaville vous accueille pour les assemblées annuelles du groupe de la Banque africaine de développement. République du Congo, terre d'opportunités, racine d'avenir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. In accordance with the rules that you've adopted, governors, Congo will host the next annual meetings, and by virtue of that, the governor for Congo is the new chairperson of the Board of Governors. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Mr. Ludovic Ngatse, Minister of Economy, Planning, Statistics, and Regional Integration, and AfDB Governor and incoming Chairperson of the Board of Governors for his acceptance speech.
Excellencies, Excellency Mr. Ali Mamin, Prime Minister of Niger, Ms. Niale Kaba, Minister of Economy, Planning and Development of the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire, and outgoing chairperson of the Board of Governors of the African Development Bank Group, President Adeshina, Honorable Governors of the AfDB Group, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, representatives and heads of diplomatic missions, representatives of financial institutions and development partners, and directors of the African Development Bank, the management of the AfDB, representatives of the media, ladies and gentlemen, I am very honored for the opportunity that is being given to me to address you in the presence of the senior personalities of this continent in order to make some remarks at the closing ceremony of these annual meetings. I would like to make some brief remarks. And on behalf of His Excellency Denis Sassou Nguesso, the Head of State and Government of the Republic of Congo and the people of Congo, to thank Mr. Alassane Ouattara, the President of the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire, as well as the Ivorian people, for the successful holding of the annual meetings and the warm welcome accorded to the Congolese delegation. I would like to sincerely express my gratitude to Dr. Akinwumi Adeshina, the outgoing president of the African Development Bank, for his leadership as he steered the bank towards Africa's development over the last decade. We are all aware of your personal involvement as well as that of your collaborators in improving the living conditions of the population. The extraordinary work done during the opening, expressed during the opening ceremony and the closing ceremony show the exemplary work that you have done over the last 10 years for the bank. Ladies and gentlemen, Excellencies, I'd like to express my congratulations to Mr. Sidi Oulta for his election as the president of the bank. When you begin your mandate, I'd like to talk about the challenges that the world is facing that makes it very difficult to implement policies. The geopolitics at the international level are marked with conflict in the Middle East and in Ukraine. You have trade wars and you have a rise in customs tariffs that are having a negative impact on the price of commodities, as well as the mobilization of concessional funds for Africa's development at the continental level. Several of our countries are facing internal challenges linked to security crisis, and this leads to poor governance structures, as well as other mechanisms that limit our mobilization of domestic resources, and then this leads to deficits. Regarding the development challenge, Africa has enormous potential to assure its structural transformation. For my country, it is indispensable to finance regional integration projects, including corridors, as well as the bridge between Brazzaville and Kinshasa that would connect Africa. The country has important gas, oil, and mineral reserves, phosphate, potassium, and other minerals. And it positions Congo as a crossroads for regional integration. but we do not have adequate infrastructure, unfortunately, as is the case for member countries of the AfDB. Congo would like to strengthen its collaboration with the AfDB and ensure that it accelerates structural transformation of its economy by focusing on the development of human capital as well as the private sector development. These challenges are ours, and they will also be yours, incoming President. I would like to state that as I come in as the chairperson of the Board of Governors, I'd like to reiterate the support of Congo as well as that of other countries to giving you support during your mandate. Ladies and gentlemen, the Board of Governors will be attentive so that the support of the bank will be distributed equitably for the benefit of all members. And we will ensure that we make this happen during our chairpersonship. I would like to thank my colleague, Madame Niale Kaba, Minister of Economy, Planning and Development of Côte d'Ivoire, for the work that she has done at the helm of this board, and for all the advice that she has given to my delegation. I would like to conclude by inviting each and all of you on behalf of the President of the Republic of Congo, His Excellency Denis Sassou Nguesso, to attend the next annual meetings that will take place from the 25th to the 29th of May 2026 in Brazzaville, Congo. Welcome, Mbote.
May I invite protocol for the exchange? For the exchange of flag. Madam Chairperson, please hand over the flag to the new chairperson. Thank you very much. Okay, can we please call for the picture of the entire new bureau with the president of the bank? Where is the photographer? I invite the Honorable Governor for Côte d'Ivoire, Honorable Niale Kaba, the Minister of Economy, Planning and Development, the Governor for Côte d'Ivoire of the African Development Bank Group, and currently now in this ceremony representing the government of Cote d'Ivoire. Please put your hands together for her closing remarks.
Your Excellency, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Niger, honorable governors, the President of the African Development Bank Group, distinguished partners, distinguished guests, dear participants, dear friends of the media, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. It is with great pleasure that I take the floor once again, this time on behalf of His Excellency President Ouattara and the Ivorian government at the end of the 60th annual meetings of the AfDB. After a lot of activities, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for your presence and your commitment throughout these annual meetings, during which we discussed the theme, mobilizing better capital for Africa's development. I'd like to express my profound gratitude to His Excellency, the President of Cote d'Ivoire, support for having attended the opening ceremony for the 60th annual meetings. I would also like to express my deep gratitude to the Excellencies, Mr. President John Mahama of the Republic of Ghana, President Azali Assoumani of the Republic of Comoros, for their distinguished presence as well as their contributions that demonstrate their unwavering support for Pan-Africanism and the future of the continent. I would also like to thank the Vice President of the Republic of Tanzania, representing the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, the Vice President of Botswana, the Prime Minister of Niger, and all the government delegations, development partners, private sector actors, representatives of the civil society who honored us with their presence during these annual meetings. My thanks equally go to the heads of institutions, members of governments, and high-level personalities in Côte d'Ivoire and internationally for their mobilization as well as their commitment that contributed to the quality of these annual meetings. I laud the presence of the governors of the bank who have come from the four corners of the world to contribute to ensure that this edition of the annual meetings are a moment of strategic reflection, fraternity, and solidarity with a view to steering our continent towards a better future. I would like to thank the speakers and the experts for their knowledge sharing and experience sharing. Their valuable contributions shed light on our reflections on the challenges and opportunities that face us and the continent. I will not forget our partners and sponsors, without which these meetings would not have been successfully organized. Your commitment towards Africa's development is admirable, and we are deeply indebted. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in my remarks, I would like to congratulate and thank Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, whose mandate ends on the 31st of August 2025. Mr. President, congratulations. Everybody has said it. I laud your courage. I know it was not an easy time at the bank. I also appreciate your leadership that enabled our institution to overcome significant challenges and that enabled our institution to attain heights that were not imaginable at the financial level, at the level of the positioning of the destiny of this continent. Allow me to warmly thank Mr. Sidi Oulta for his brilliant election to the helm of the African Development Bank for the next 5 years. I know President Sidi, who was a colleague of mine before going to the AfDB. We recognize his qualities, and we know that he will enhance the visibility of the bank and take us further with more opportunities to accelerate its development. We know that he has the requisite capacities, and we wish him the very best. At this stage, I think that I'd like to ask the incoming president to learn how to dance. You know how to make us dance unexpectedly. You sing songs and make us dance, and many staff members learned how to dance during your term in office. And I encourage the president-elect to do some practice in the next coming months. Ladies and gentlemen, these annual meetings were the opportunity to show the positive outcomes of the bank and to ensure that the continent takes ownership of its independence. We talked about inclusive development that is resilient and sustainable for the continent. As I've already handed over the baton to my successor, and I would like to seize this opportunity to thank the governors once again for the trust they placed in me, as well as their frank collaboration that I enjoyed from each and every one of you. I am happy with the good results that we managed to achieve together during the annual assemblies. I would like to thank the organizing committee, my teams, with the chief of staff, who I'd like to thank, Mr. Yeonawa. Thank you very much. The organizing committee was a joint committee. We had the Ivorian team working with myself and the chief of staff, the team from the bank, as well as the Secretary General and his team. This gives me the opportunity to sincerely thank the Secretary General, Vincent, and thank you very much. You have done incredible work towards the organization of these annual meetings. I would like to thank his dynamic team for the quality of the collaboration as we prepared for these annual meetings, as well as the quality of the documents provided to us that we considered over the 5 days of our work. Before I conclude my remarks, I would like to congratulate the incoming Bureau. Honorable Minister Ludovic Ngatse with the two vice chairpersons, I'd like to welcome you and wish you the very best. We've seen a beautiful video of Congo. It's a beautiful country, and I'm sure many of us will be attending the next annual meetings to be held next year. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you enjoyed the Ivorian hospitality and appreciated the cultural diversity of the country. It was an honor to have you. And once again, thank you for your presence as well as your precious, valuable contribution. I wish you safe journeys back to your respective countries and your families. And I hope that we will soon meet at the annual meetings in 2026 in Brazzaville, Congo, from the 25th to the 26th of May, 2026. I declare closed on behalf of His Excellency President Alassane Ouattara, the 60th edition of the annual meetings of the Africa Development Bank Group. Thank you very much. On behalf of His Excellency President Alassane Ouattara, the 60th edition of the annual meetings of the Africa Development Bank.
Hands together for the Algon. Please put your hands together for the Algon chairperson of the Board of Governors. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been here for the entire week. Let me use this opportunity to also appreciate and thank the African Development Bank's annual meetings planning committee. Thank you, AMCO, led by Andre Bass. We have heard and experienced the vibe and hype of the 2025 annual meetings. It is now time to see what you've been up to. It is now time to play the best of the annual meetings videos. You don't have it? I'm told that the file is so huge that it couldn't upload. But it's good to know that over 5,000 people confirmed to participate in these annual meetings in various categories. We thank you for participating and for being part of the history of the bank, particularly this year. On this note, ladies and gentlemen, honorable governors, thank you for coming. We wish you all the best as you travel, but do not forget that tonight, the governor's closing dinner will hold at the Gardens at the hotel at 8 p.m. Please, when you're coming, put on your dancing shoes, because President Adesina is ready to dance the dance of his life. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Dizes que chega, nunca mais acontece. Toda hora te espero, todo dia em Caxexe. Quero ouvir o teu passo, quero ocupar o teu espaço. Nunca deixas teu traço, onde deixas pedaço. Caxexe, Caxexe, Caxexe. Tenho motivo de sobra pra confiar na onda, detestar essa cobra que me ronda na borda. Falam de ti, serena, dizem que és donzela.